All right, says this now streaming live on Facebook.
Hello, guys. Welcome to the True Journey Show. Thank you, guys. We really appreciate you guys. So we weren't going to allow Facebook over there to stop this interview. So we found out we could come to Zoom, which is awesome. We want to just thank Mr. Boyd for helping us get through this. So thank you, Mr. Boyd. Guys, we are really, really excited tonight, guys. The energy level, we're bringing it back. We had it. We didn't lose it. We're bringing it back to you guys right now, guys. So we just wanted to thank you guys for hopping on. If you're watching it tonight, thank you guys. Let us know where you're watching from. Let us know in the comments where you're watching from. We always want to know where our friends are tuning in from. And share this. Share this. Invite your friends to watch because we have some powerful, powerful messages going to be brought to us tonight, guys. So thank you guys for watching. I'm Richard. This is my beautiful wife, Dawn. We're the True Journey Show. Guys, thank you so much for hopping on. Without further ado, we're going to bring in Mr. Brandon Boyd. Mr. Brandon Boyd, welcome to the True Journey Show.
Well, I'm excited to be on here. I'm glad that we got this opportunity to jump on here on a Wednesday night right before Thanksgiving, and that we don't have any technical difficulties, so this is good.
Awesome. This is great. Thank you for hopping on. We're really grateful. And so without this, we'll just jump right in. We want to respect your time and our viewers' time. So we just want to kind of just give us a little background about yourself, Mr. Boyd.
Sure.
Thank you.
So yeah, I'll give you guys kind of the quick rundown. So I grew up in upstate New York for 13 years. My dad was a professor at Cornell University. He was the two-time Animal Scientist of the Year in America. He's on the Bill Gates Foundation. Wow. And then we moved to Kentucky. I ended up finishing my high school career there. Was all state in football and played basketball, ran track and all that. Came out to college for Utah to Utah. And I've now been here for 20 years. I got married here. I've got 6 children. 1 boy, 5 girls in a row. So I've got a big family. Wow. One of my passions is to, talk about Jesus Christ, and I try and do it in a way that is not offensive to people, but it is a passion that I have in my life. It's the foundation of why I'm happy. I think a lot of people today are unhappy. And I tell people all the time that you can only find peace through the Prince of Peace. And so I'm here. That's a little bit about my background. I've been an entrepreneur now for about 20 years, haven't had a job in 15 years. In fact, since our first child was born, I have not actually had to work for anybody else. And so I've been grateful for that, to have the time freedom to do the things that I really enjoy doing.
Wow, that is just amazing.
Wow.
All
Thank
in
you
one
for sharing
nutshell.
it. Wow.
That is so good.
That is awesome. Thank you for sharing that. You said you base your foundation on faith, and that's what Dawn and I
we
truly believe in as well. And so when you decide to become an entrepreneur and decide to get into home-based business, working from home, can you tell us a little bit how that affected your family? That's a big thing coming from probably working out. And I mean, did you have another job? Did you work for something else?
Yeah, so I'd had, leading up to 19 years of age, we had a lawn mowing business for 12 years. So I'd done lawns, and all of a sudden I was in home-based business. It was kind of a shock to some of my family members. They said, it's a scam, go get a real job and all. I was going to college. But the thing is that my dreams were so big and my goals, because I got into the books, the audio, started attending all the seminars and stuff. And frankly, I never really feel that I had the support of my family and some of my closest friends. Wow. In fact, my family didn't join what I was doing. My friends didn't join what I was doing. And so I definitely did feel alone, but I knew that eventually that it would actually pay off. And so it was hard in the beginning because I was doing something new. I felt like I was alone and I didn't have the support of the people around me. And I wanted their support because at the time I thought that, I want to make my parents proud. I want them to be proud when they talk about their son. but I didn't feel that from them. I didn't feel accepted that what I was doing was a good thing. And now you fast forward 20 years, and my dad said just this last summer, so several months ago, it took 20 years. He said, I want you to know that I'm really proud of you. He said, you did it. He said, it's like you got your master's degree in this industry. And he said, I'm really, really proud of you. Now, unfortunately, it took him 20 years to say that,
Right.
but it was good. Just the testimony of staying consistent, staying persistent, and stuff like that, it's all ended up paying off.
Wow.
Wow.
That's really good.
Wow, that was
That's
great.
really
Thank
good.
you for sharing that.
I do see that you have a beautiful family. And how do you have the time to spend with them? I see they're all so happy. It's amazing to have 6 children and your wife and you all smiling at the same time. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, my wife is my boss, but my calendar is my boss. My calendar is really, this is really what keeps me going. In fact, if I turn it sideways and it shows the week, it'll look like this. So basically, I have my calendar that kind of shows what I'm doing almost every hour of the day. And so as an entrepreneur, this is just so important to have because, for example, on my calendar, it actually says spend quality time with Jayme, and it says 9:30 p.m. at night. Now, I've had people over the years make fun of me for that, saying, why do you have to schedule that into your calendar? And what I said was, if you don't date your spouse, someone else may eventually date your spouse, and you don't want that to happen.
No.
You got to be courting each other. And so I do plan time with her. Now, it's not like I announced to her, hey, honey, it's time to spend time together.
Right.
The point is that I make her a priority in my life by putting her in my calendar, because to me, it's the most important appointment that I have all day. If I can schedule these other people to meet with, why would I not do that with my spouse? So the dates with my kids today, I went with 2 of my kids. I took them to Denny's. I fed them breakfast. And then Friday after Thanksgiving, I will spend time with 2 of my other children. So I've taken them on dates for about 10 years.
Wow.
Every week, faithfully, I take my kids on dates. And how do I do that? How do I balance that?
Right.
Well, there's 2 things, because I did a whole training on the whole balance thing. First of all, sometimes you're not always going to be balanced. When you're kind of sprinting with, your entrepreneurial venture, sometimes things may get a little bit out of balance, but I schedule the time with the family, schedule time with my wife. I do my personal development early in the morning. So all my personal stuff I do very early in the morning, so that it does not take away from family time or work time. So that's one of the keys to my success, is daily rituals. So when people are like, how are you able to balance this? Well, my personal stuff, which is personal development, scripture reading, prayer, and then going to the gym. So my physical health, my spiritual health, my mental health, all that takes place a lot of times before the kids even wake up, or even my wife is up.
Right.
Wow.
And so that's the personal stuff. And that's how I'm able to balance all the other stuff with my work and with the family time, is I put it in my schedule, and I just make it a priority. People have more time than they think they do, but they think they need more hours in a day. What they need is more focus.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I know you talk about your daily rituals and your morning prayer. And can you tell us a little bit about your morning motivation show? I noticed I've been watching it for quite a while now.
Yeah, it's very
and
inspiring.
it's very inspiring, very uplifting. You bring a lot of energy. I know sometimes you have other guests sometimes that come on.
Yeah, I do have other guests on there, just because I figured that people would probably get tired of hearing me 5 days a week on there. So I decided about 2 years ago to have kind of rotate some guests on there, so that they could actually hear different voices, see different faces and stuff like that. But I started it 2.5 years ago. I've done 754 episodes as of today. I've recorded all the sessions. It has 10 million downloads. And the reason why I started it was because I felt like that people really needed something to show up to. For example, when you tell somebody, hey, you need to be doing personal development, you need to be doing this. What I find is like a doctor, if there's not an appointment, they probably won't do it, right? Like, for example, people are like, I don't have time to exercise. All of a sudden they get a personal trainer and they start showing up. Why? Because it's an appointment. So what I tell people is morning motivation is an appointment to show up, to say, hey man, I want to start my day the right way. I want to get my mindset right before I go out there and have to deal with the world every day. And so that's why I started. When I came up with the idea, I started the show the very next day, and 754 episodes. We're still here. We're still going strong. It's probably the number one thing I do that I would say makes the most difference in people's lives. When I go to conventions, the number one thing people say to me is, hey, morning motivation has changed my life. You know, I mean, I could not believe until the last two conventions how many people came up to me telling me how much morning motivation has saved their life. So it is one of those things that it's just neat. I'm glad to be a part of it. And I'm glad that I took action on a prompting that I got.
Right.
That's so good.
That was so good. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I've been watching that for quite a few years, and that's kind of how I found you, you know, through there. And it was like you said, changed my life. Just I gives me so much inspiration, so much motivation just to start my day, you know. And like I said, getting in the Word and praying before I start my day, and then getting on this, you know, just feeling the energy and feeling the goodness, you know, and the spirit of what you got is pretty amazing.
It's amazing.
So,
It's awesome.
Well, we really appreciate you getting us through this little tough journey here. And
yeah. I had a question, you know, you talk about having, you know, we know we've had so much success in what you're doing, but what about any struggles that you may have faced? You know, that, man, this, I just, and how did you defeat it? How did you, like, really?
Oh, yeah. So I actually wrote a book this last year called Bankrupt to Abundance. And I'll kind of give you guys a cliff notes. You can go to my site, mastermindwithbrandon.com, and click on books. It has all my books for free. I've written 12 books.
wow.
Most of them are pretty short and to the point, but I can tell you, I've been through the land of struggle just like anybody else. 10 years ago, a lot of people don't know this, and it's the reason why I decided to write the book. But 10 years ago, in a 10-month period of time, I lost my house, spouse, and business in 10 months. It was probably about the worst thing that can happen to you. There's a lot of bad things that can happen to you, but when it happened in such a short window of time, I definitely felt deflated. It was the first time that I could remember that I was not motivated or inspired to read books, listen to audios. I didn't feel bitter, but I just felt really discouraged. I felt like, I don't know if I can climb to the top of the mountain again. I felt really down. I filed bankruptcy during that time. I had a business that we had. The business went under, the economy had tanked, and I lost everything. I lost all the money. I've always made good money. I've never had a time where I didn't make good money, but I lost all my money. And so I filed bankruptcy. You know, I lost my marriage. I lost my house and the thing. I got my cars repossessed. I mean, it was just a terrible situation. But you know what? For me, it was a wake-up call that certain things needed to change. Even though I felt like I was doing good, there were certain things that needed to change. So I literally dove my face. I remember I put my face literally in the scriptures. And I read the words of Isaiah. He said, I'll make a river in the desert, a way in the wilderness. I'm going to make you a new creature. I'm going to do a new thing in your life.
Wow.
And I thought, you know what? I think I'm going to become a renewed person. If the Apostle Paul was shipwrecked, whipped, beaten, stoned, and in prison, and he could say, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I just felt like this is temporary. I am going to get through this. You know, you're kind of at the darkest time is when what comes is the dawn, right? And I came out of that, and I came out of it even better. I ended up meeting my wife, Jayme. We now have 6 children together. So we've got a big family. And I feel really, really blessed. And I can honestly say I'm grateful for the experience that I had 10 years ago. It was not fun. When
Right.
you're going through that kind of stuff, it's extremely discouraging and frankly depressing.
Mhm.
But it made me a better father, a better husband, and a better businessman. And so I wanted to share my story in that book where I give the details of exactly what I went through and then how I actually overcame that. So look, there's a struggle there. Even now, guys,
Right.
I make phenomenal money right now. Like I'm making the most money that I've made in my life. So I'm making phenomenal money right now. But that doesn't mean that there's not struggles. We have struggles with our children, with bullies at school, with the homework, all the pressures there, the sports,
Right.
them having their internal struggles, especially having girls with the emotional issues and maybe some of the drama and stuff like that. So
Right.
those are things that definitely can weigh you down. I have business pressures where there's a lot of money that's out there with investments and different things going on. And sometimes those cause, even though that it's nice to at least have the money to manage and stuff,
Right.
it causes stress, it causes pressure. So there are definitely those days. There's no question about it. There are certain days that I wake up and I think to myself, I don't know if I can go out another day and do this. I feel really, really exhausted mentally and physically. In fact, I have a journal that I write in every day, and it's my insight. So I have this in out of the most
Wow,
out
that's
of all the stuff that I own in my life, this journal that I'm keeping is the most valuable thing that I have that my kids will take with them when I pass away one of these days, because it's the thoughts and the insights on the things that I've gone through, the lessons I've learned, the struggles and stuff like that. I know it's part of the process. I call this the University of Earth. And on this University of Earth, man, there is opposition in all things. There are trials and tribulations, but they are there to promote you, not to demote you. They're there to strengthen you, just like when you're working out the muscle, you have to have resistance in order for the muscle to grow. That's how you grow spiritually, emotionally, in all those different directions. So yeah, even today, where I'm at right now, there are definitely struggles, and I would say the biggest struggle is just raising a big family, especially in 2019, where there's so much going on with social media. There's so many things going on, and the pressures there that it's a daily thing to kind of stay on top of it with our kids.
that. Wow, that is a powerful story, guys. I can't wait to get in there and actually read more about that
That's
in that
exciting.
book.
Yes,
'Cause,
it is.
yeah, wow. Brandon, wow, that was very powerful. Wow,
That was a wonderful story.
that was a beautiful story. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Wow, I got one more before we let you go and everybody go. Mentorship. Can you tell me a little bit about mentorship? Mentorship is huge. Having somebody hold you accountable for in this business, because there's no boss.
Yeah.
Somebody tell you take a break, take time, get up off the couch, go to work. So
Yeah, so I have a business partner that I don't work with him full time, but he is with me in my organization. I talk to him on a weekly basis for an accountability call. Basically, what it is to report what I've done for the week, how I'm doing, but then to get the counsel and advice that I need to be more successful. It's a very transparent call. It's one of those situations where I'd be willing to pay for it if I had to. That's how important mentorship is. I mean, I look at it like if Tony Robbins has a mentor, Michael Jordan had a mentor, Tiger Woods had a mentor. I mean, the reality is that these guys are elite at what it is that they do, and they have a mentor as well. So I check in one time per week with this mentor. It's a transparent call. I let them know the ups and downs of things that I'm working on, and then I drop my pride. I have humility, and I'm willing to take their advice, even if it's painful. It says that the guilty take the truth to be hard, and so it's like I'm willing to drop my pride and humble myself and realize there's certain things that I need to do better. It could be my attitude for the week. It could be maybe that I was feeling I know a lot of people watching this right now probably feel a lack of motivation to even work. I mean, they're so like, they're on their phones so much that they just don't even feel motivated to even work. And so those kinds of things definitely come up for all of us. And so I do have a mentor. I think to me, it is very invaluable to have one. I think it makes the difference between, I tell people, with a mentor, you can go from the pit to the palace. That's how much of a difference it is when you have a mentor in your life, because most people are in the pits. They don't like their job. They're not doing well financially. They have no spiritual life. Their physical health is not in order. So they're kind of in the pits.